Welcome to office hours, everyone. This is just a mic check. Check 1, 2, check. And then we'll start office hours and recording shortly. Welcome if you're joining us on the call today. Why don't you jump into the live comments section and go ahead and tell us where you're calling in from today. We'll get started in about 45 seconds. Can anyone confirm that my audio is clear in the chat for me? That'd be a massive help. Andrew Zimbel's here. Welcome to the call, Andrew. Nancy says it's clear. That's good. Okay. All right. Well, let's get this show on the road. Welcome everyone to Office Hours. My name is Adrian. I'm the CEO and founder of Groundhogg. And I wanted to do a little bit something different today. I wanted to talk a little bit about our vision for 2021. So next year and what Groundhogg and our team is going to be doing in order to continue our mission to help small businesses launch their funnel, grow their list, and scale their business. What features are we doing? What are our initiatives? And essentially just how are we going to continue and then improve on what we've already been doing to achieve this goal. Before I get into that, we have reached a milestone in our Facebook group. We've reached 1,000 members, which is pretty freaking awesome. So that's a big milestone for us that we officially have a community of over 1,000 like-minded individuals who use our platform to launch their funnel, grow their list, and scale their business, helping each other out. And it came to my attention that a lot of these members have not been around since 2018 when Groundhogg actually started. And I wanted to make sure that everyone in the group actually knew a little bit about me personally, Adrian, the founder, as well as a little bit more about our organization and who exactly is putting together this product, these trainings, and this information in order to help you move your business forward. So here's a little bit about me. So before Groundhogg and before I founded this company in 2018, I was doing a few other things. So number one, I was a university student. Fresh out of university, I went straight into launching Groundhogg. I went to the University of Toronto for computer science for several years. I went for 3 years until I inevitably dropped out. There are a few reasons for dropping out, least of which was I didn't do too well in one of the courses. But larger than that, I was working essentially full-time in a digital marketing agency here in Toronto. We specialized in implementing Infusionsoft. Many of you may know that company. For 3 years, I was actually an Infusionsoft Certified Partner for that same period of time. I've implemented literally thousands of campaigns for hundreds of businesses around the world, and I'm mostly here in Canada. And I learned a lot through that process. Not only did I do that as an ICP, but I also founded my first actual product company. It's called FormLift, which is a dedicated form builder that works with WordPress, which integrates with Infusionsoft and makes Infusionsoft web forms on WordPress a much, much easier experience. So I did 3 years as an ICP, 3 years doing FormLift, and much longer within the agency, helping with implementing campaigns and marketing automation and all of that fun stuff. So at the end of that long period of time and building my first product company and working with marketing automation, I was in the summer after that third year of university, and it was kind of time to decide whether I was going to essentially continue university, which would require a lot more of my attention, and then put all of my digital marketing experience and FormLift to the side. And I decided that's not exactly what I wanted to do. So I made the decision to just, quit now. I can always go back and do school later, but there's an opportunity that exists in the market right now for creating marketing automation and CRM that's a whole lot more accessible to small businesses than tools like Infusionsoft or ActiveCampaign or HubSpot, which can be incredibly pricey for small organizations. The only CRM that existed at the time was another person called ZeroBS CRM, which was actually recently acquired by Jetpack and Automatic and the whole WordPress.org team. So that's exciting for them, but they didn't have any marketing automation features that would compare to something like Infusionsoft ActiveCampaign or HubSpot. So we took it upon ourselves to actually create the first product in the space that was a WordPress plugin self-hosted platform. There were other self-hosted platforms that did the same thing, like Mautic, but they were way too complicated to set up and not accessible for small businesses who didn't know a whole lot about development and marketing technology. So we made it easy, we made it as a plugin, and that's when we launched Groundhogg in 2018. And from that, we have made a significant impact, I think, for small businesses around the world. We are serving small businesses in over 30 countries around the world, many of them not English speaking, which is a testament to Groundhogg's accessibility and translatability. We're currently rated 5 stars on WordPress.org with over 66 reviews. By the way, if you could help us get that to 70, I would be eternally grateful. And we've also have now our 1,000 members of our Facebook community, which is pretty freaking awesome. So in 2 years, we've been able to make a massive impact, not only for our own organization, but for the organizations of so many others. And Groundhogg is powering over 2,000 businesses around the world, which is pretty astounding to me. And it's only going up from here. And if you go look at our WordPress install growth, you can see how it's kind of just going steadily increasing, and that's pretty awesome to see. It's not just me, by the way. I know I'm kind of like the face of the organization. I'm always the one who's here in the Facebook group, but there's actually a much larger team, and I am blocking one of our newest members. Let me fix that. There we go. I want to put myself up here temporarily. There's actually a much larger team behind the scenes who's making all of the stuff that we do possible. I would not be able to do it all alone. So there's obviously me, who is responsible for a lot of the web design and development and support and all of that stuff. But there's also Alicia, who helps a lot with our content and our blog and proofreading and copywriting. There's Drumit, who actually works just behind me, who is also doing a whole lot of development. We have Michael, who helps with all of our video production, who's taking care of our YouTube channel and Vimeo. We have Nancy, who's consistently helping out with our certified partner network. There's Gabriel, who is all over Groundhogg's financials. We have Paul, who's a consistent advisor and someone who helps a lot with some of the business decisions that are made. We have Nathan, who is a recent addition to our development team, who's currently busy working on 3.0, which we're going to talk about today. And we also added Jesse, who is consistently helping us out on our support, not only in the Facebook group, but live chat and our support ticket queue as well. And many of you who I see actually participating here on the call have probably interacted with at least one of these people beyond myself. So there's a major team and a massive team making sure that we produce nothing but the best content and the best tools that are going to be able to help you launch your funnel, grow your list, and scale your business. So that's for the benefit of anyone who's new in the Facebook group. Now that we've reached our kind of like 1,000 person benchmark, a lot of you may have not known that there was kind of like this hidden behind the scenes that's not just my face and a whiteboard, but there's actually a whole lot more going on in order to empower you and empower our products to help you do what you do. So enough of that. Let's talk about the juicy stuff. Let's talk about what's coming for the 2021 year. Now, I rarely make long-term commitments for functionality. That's something that I don't like to do often, purely because technology changes and interest changes and the market changes and products change, and just so much stuff happens so quickly in the technology industry that I don't like to make long-term projections. However, our product is becoming increasingly more mature, and there are certain benchmarks that I think are necessary at this point in order to create clear timelines on, and I wanted to share what those timelines are with you so that you can feel confident about using Groundhogg well into the future, beyond just the first few months that you might have purchased it. We want Groundhogg to essentially be a life partner in your business. For as long as you're using WordPress, we want to be the backbone of your customer communications. So I'm going to share with you what we're doing in 2021 to level up our communications power and to continue to empower you to make excellent business decisions and launch more funnels and continue to scale your business. So starting off with our first quarter, I've broken our 2021 goals into quarterly goals. So you can expect everything that's listed here to happen within the first 3-month period of 2021. So January to March, we're going to be releasing a beta version in January of our Groundhogg 3.0. So 3.0 coming out January 2021. It's going to have a brand new complete interface that is separate from the regular WordPress admin. It's going to be beautiful. Everything's going to be almost instantaneous. It's going to be much more easy to navigate. Everything's going to be clear. It's not going to be as compact. It's going to be mobile friendly. There's just a whole lot that we're going to be packing into this new and improved UI to make your CRM and marketing automation experience just that much more pleasant. We're going to be introducing a new block-based email editor. This might be based on Gutenberg or drag and drop. We don't really know yet, but that's something that we are going to have in the first quarter of 2021. We are going to have a deeply integrated contact record. What this means is that if you have any of our extensions installed, like WooCommerce, EDD, any of the LMS tools like Lifter LMS, membership tools, our contact record is going to be able to pull in data from all of those different sources of truth and create one massive source of truth in the contact record, pulling in like customer lifetime value, all of the courses people are enrolled in, all of the form submissions from Gravity Forms. It's all just going to be available in the contact record. So you only have to go to one place to find anything. This is going to be massively powerful in ensuring that you have easily found data. We are going to be improving our funnel automation significantly with a brand new funnel editor. The core principles of our funnels are going to remain the same, but we're going to make everything just a that much more usable and visual so that you understand better what's actually happening in your funnel. So that's going to be a massive improvement over what's currently available. And of course, we're going to have to go through and redo all of our documentation and all of our courses to reflect our new and improved user experience. So that's going to be fun, but you know, those are our commitments for quarter one. By March, the end of March, we should have 3.0 publicly released, along with the various different extensions that we have. In the second quarter of 2021, so the April to June period, we are going to be adding some many requested features and integrations which previously did not exist. So Q2 of 2021, we're going to be looking at implementing integrations for all of the membership plugins that are out there for WordPress. Well, at least all of the popular ones: MemberPress, Wishlist Member, Restrict Content Pro. All of these are going to get dedicated integrations, so you'll be able to apply tags when certain membership levels are added. We're going to, again, be pulling that information from your membership platform into an integrated contact record. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff in order to greatly improve, the membership plugin experience. And then another kind of big one is we're going to be adding quotes and invoicing to our payments plugin, Really Simple Payments. So that has been highly requested, especially from our freelancer community who are looking for easier ways in order to charge clients without having to go through something like Upwork or Intuit or QuickBooks, and they kind of just want an all-in WordPress solution. We are going to be adding invoicing and manual payments to our Really Simple Payments extension, which is going to be super, I think, powerful. You're going to be able to run automation when invoices are paid, and automation when invoices aren't paid. You're going to be able to send invoices to specific people and then track if they paid it or not, or track if they opened the email. There's going to be some cool stuff that we're going to be doing with invoicing, and I'm excited to see how that's going to happen. Q3, again, tackling a few more kind of pending feature requests that have been on the back burner for quite some time. Number one is we begin getting a lot of requests for an email inbox conversation feature. So this means, or we get asked a lot, how do I track, or can I track emails which are sent outside of the CRM? So how do I track emails which I'm just communicating with in Gmail? And also, how do I send emails from Groundhogg to a person's inbox and just have that personal email? So we're going to be implementing email conversations that you can directly manage within a contact record. So if I wanted to send an email to Joe Blow, I'd be able to go to the CRM, go to Joe Blow's contact record, open up the conversations panel, and then just quickly write out an email and send that. And I'd be able to track all the replies, whether they happen in Groundhogg or outside of Groundhogg, through there, and I'd be able to see all of that contact and information and chat history. So that's going to be a feature which is going to be coming in Q3. And we're also going to be implementing projects and tasks. This does not mean project management. When I think of projects and tasks in a CRM context, I'm thinking of assigning salespeople to follow up with specific contacts and mark that they actually followed up. Not necessarily kind of like a Trello project management board. That's not what I'm thinking here. But an implementation of projects and tasks for salespeople in a CRM context that'll be able to also trigger automation or stop automation. So cool things happening there in Q3. And in Q4, Q4 is going to essentially be our overflow month because there's quite a few ambitious things happening in the first 3 quarters. So I've left Q4 kind of open for overflow, but things that we're going to be investigating in Q4 are split testing for emails, funnels, and forms. We're also going to be maybe investigating branching in kind of like the active campaign context for our funnel builder. The ability to build custom reports for the reporting dashboard based on activity that happens within the CRM and your various other plugins. And continuing to build out more really simple extensions that can tackle portions of any kind of niche business. For example, if you're running, let's say, a small agency and you want to run your agency through Groundhogg, you might want to have a special way to deal with support. So we'd have a really simple support tickets extension to enable you to manage support within WordPress. Or really simple events for event management if you're running like webinars or something like that. So those kinds of plugins are something we're going to be continuing to investigate so that we can empower small businesses to essentially just use our products, get off the ground running, and maybe upgrade to something a little bit more robust and specific when they needed to. Like they might migrate from our really simple payments extension to something like Intuit or QuickBooks or maybe WooCommerce with invoices or something like that. But really we want our really simple payments platforms to enable small businesses with low budgets to kind of just get what they need and get it out and get an MVP out there and start collecting funds. And then we're going to help them grow and scale over time. So that is what 2021 is looking at. Pretty feature packed. And I think there's a lot of stuff that we're going to be covering here. It may not be as much as you had hoped, or it may be even more than you hoped. But this is not a small undertaking that we are doing. We are essentially rebuilding right now Groundhogg from the ground and up in terms of our user experience. We're using tools like React which is a JavaScript front end. We've completely redeveloped the WordPress REST API. So we'll be migrating from version 3 to version 4 of Groundhogg's REST API, which is a lot more robust and a lot easier and has consistent responses. We are going to continue to improve our event queue system and allow that to be extended. We have a new extendable data type. We have a new extendable activity center. So we're tracking activity not only that happens in Groundhogg, but stuff like when people log in, or when courses are completed, or when lessons are completed, or when orders in WooCommerce happen, and feeding all of that back to our reporting center. There's just a ton of stuff that is currently being changed on the back end and on the front end to create, nothing but the highest standard in open source marketing automation that's currently available on the market. We're investing a lot of time and a lot of money into ensuring that when Q1 of 2020 comes around, you're just going to be blown away by the brand new Groundhogg 3.0 experience. And it's only been a few short months that we've been working on it so far, and I'm already blown away. So it's just like super excited. Okay, so I'm going to take a breather here, and I'm going to open the floor to any questions that you might have imagined, any questions that you have, I don't know the word, any questions that you might have about our 2021 goals. Just go ahead and post those in the chat. I currently have it open here. And I see I have a few people on the call. I have our pod, I have Louis, I have Andrew. Welcome to the call, everybody. If you have questions, now is the time. I'm happy to answer any of our thinking about our 2021 goals. I'm also happy to discuss maybe adding things or moving things or changing things. I kind of want to hear what your feedback is, and please provide some feedback. And if not, no feedback, then we'll move on to our Q&A section. Andrew Zimble is asking, will the contact record have a good way to see data once collected? Well, if it didn't, then we would seriously have a problem there. So our vision for the contact record is going to be your place to get a single source of truth and full wraparound view of the contact record for all of their activities on your site. If it's purchasing specific products or enrolling in specific memberships or opening an email, clicking a link in specific email, we are going to make that data easily accessible from one place. So for example, right now, to see WooCommerce information about a customer, you have to go to the Groundhog contact record and then find the link to their WooCommerce contact record and do that. We are actually just going to, from now on in version 3, pull all of the data from WooCommerce and organize that nicely and efficiently on the contact record itself so that you don't have to navigate to multiple places. We are going to make Groundhog just your single source of truth for all things to know about a person or someone on your list. John Matthews is asking, any chance you might incorporate live chat or visitor tracking? So live chat and visitor tracking are some things that we have considered adding to our Q2 roadmap. We decided that the email conversations feature was just a little bit more important than incorporating a live chat, since other live chat extensions that integrate with Groundhog already currently exist. However, pulling email conversations into Groundhog is just not something that does. So live chat is a little bit of a tricky one. That might be a 2022 task, and introducing something like really simple live chat, which could certainly fall into our investigations for the fourth quarter. I'm not saying no, but I'm going to say probably not 2021. In terms of visitor tracking, that is a tough one. The reason that we don't do visitor tracking right now, and we could if we wanted to, is because if you get like 5,000 visits to your site per month, and you're tracking every single one, that means 5,000 database entries clogging up and taking space, which are not necessarily, visitor tracking is not necessarily useful information in the CRM context all the time. It could be, but not all the time. So we made the decision to not do that because we don't want to blow up your database with a whole bunch of useless visitor tracking records, because that's just not an efficient use of resources. There are much better ways to do visitor tracking through Google Analytics with user ID, correlation. If you're using something like Monster Insights, that's taken care of automatically, and that's what we use for stuff like that. And Groundhog already has visitor tracking, or at least page tracking, that can trigger automation. For example, if you wanted to track when someone visited a specific page and you wanted to send them an email when they visit that page, that's something you can do with our page visited benchmark. I don't see us adding visitor tracking simply because of that database size problem. Unless we churned, let's say that we churned the data once every week. But again, that would also just be kind of pointless, because then you don't really have that historical data to use if you did need it. So it's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. At least that's my thought. If there's another way to look at it, I'm certainly open to looking at it a different way. Gary Hendricks is asking, who will have access to the beta UI? Anybody who wants it. We are not going to be stingy, and for those who want to try out the beta UI when it becomes available in 2021, we will send you a copy to try, because it's important to us that we get feedback on it as soon as possible in order to ensure that it works, because we don't want to push something public and then, oh shit, it doesn't work. That's not something that we want to have. So Gary, when it becomes available, I promise you'll know, and you'll be able to get a copy. Andrew Zimble asks, especially, or has a follow-up to his question, especially the custom data. So there is by the way, Andrew, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but we do have a way to add like visual custom fields and tabs to the contact record, which you may not know about at the moment. And this may be something that a lot of people find helpful. We have an extension called Advanced Custom Meta Fields, Andrew, which allows you to create UI for your custom fields. So I know there's the custom info tab, but if you want something a little bit more robust and something a little bit nicer to look at in terms of managing custom fields, go grab this extension. If anybody has at the minimum the basic plan, because this extension is included in all plans, you can go ahead and you can install this right away, and it allows you to create tabs and custom fields for managing custom information really easily. So go ahead and go grab this extension if you want better custom field management like yesterday. Okie dokie. Any last questions about our 2021 preview roadmap? Okay, I'm not seeing any questions, so what we're going to do then is we're going to go into open Q&A. So open Q&A is your opportunity to get advice on marketing strategies, on funnels, to get tutorials, to ask about features, to get explanations, to ask for best practices. It is really just an opportunity for you to essentially use me as an open book to help you overcome roadblocks that's preventing you from launching your funnel, growing your list, and scaling your business. So I'm going to leave the floor open to questions. Post your questions in the chat. What happens is I repeat them, and then we answer them live here on the call. So I'm going to stop talking. I am going to have a sip of my coffee, and hopefully by the time I'm finished sipping, I see some questions drip in. I have a question from Yash, and Yash is asking, I have an out-of-context question. Will there be job opportunities for developers? Well, right now, we're not hiring. I imagine that we'll need to add more members to the team in 2021, as it's very ambitious. Currently, we already have 3 developers working on 3.0, myself not included. So I think we're good for the time being. However, that's not to say that we won't be in 2021. I should mention, though, there is always the opportunity as a talented developer to create third-party extensions for Groundhogg. Colin Longworth at Woo Ninja is already doing this and is doing a great job. So, for example, you could open up your own third-party plugin shop and start developing for the Groundhogg third-party ecosystem with your own extensions, your own integrations. For example, Colin does a lot of SaaS to Groundhogg stuff with Shopify and Thinkific, list enrichment and Telegram. So he's doing a great job with that stuff. So there's certainly still an ability or an opportunity to open up a third-party dev shop if that's something you wanted to investigate. But I don't imagine needing to hire any additional team members, at least until 2021. Yash. But you know what you should do is you should please send us a resume. Or if you have I know you have a license, so you can open up a support ticket, we get to know each other, and we can do an interview or something, just so that we have your name, and if we ever need to go out, we need to find someone, we'll have you in mind. Andrew Zimble has a question. Andrew asks, I would like to create a form for my salespeople to add names to a contact list. I was thinking of creating a form on our website that was only for our team that would connect to Groundhog. That is a very, very, very common use case, Andrew. And if that's the way that you want to do it, that is a great way to do it. Excuse me. Creating a form is easy enough, and just password protecting it on your page, for example. The way that you would do that is, let me go open up a dev site here. So Andrew, if you want to create a funnel or a specific form for your salespeople, that would be really easy to do. All you got to do is you got to choose a funnel, just to start from scratch one, stick a form in it. Obviously, modify all of your fields. Let's call this salesperson form. You can add any follow-up or stuff that you want to this funnel, or just add a tag to add them to a new funnel. Let's go ahead and save that. We're going to grab our short code. Let's go to our pages. And we're going to go ahead and we are going to paste our form here. In WordPress, you can set visibility of pages to just something else. So if I wanted this page to be password protected because I only wanted my salespeople to access it, I could give it a page password, and I could just call it Higgins or something like that. There we go. Password protected. Go ahead and update this page. And if I want to view the page, you'll see that it's password protected, and I must enter the password in order to see it. And there we go. Now I have my form. So that would be a really easy way to manage that process, Andrew. Okay, looking for open Q&A questions. If there's a long period of silence, that's because it looks like the stream is at least 30 seconds behind when I'm actually speaking. So if there's a long pause, please stick around. The stream is not over. Andrew is asking if the contact was already in the list, would the contact just update? Yes. So the contact's email addresses in Groundhog are unique. So that means if an email address is reused in a form somewhere, it will just automatically update the contact rather than creating a new one. So it's always staying relevant with the most recent information provided by the contact. Andrew asks, could they add a tag in the form? Sure. So in Groundhog, in the form editor, if you are adding things like checkboxes, you can actually apply a tag when a checkbox is selected. So I could give my, let's say I wanted to apply a specific tag. Let's say this person is like a hot lead. And I could provide this as like, I don't know. Really doesn't matter what you put here because you're using it for the tag. If I select this checkbox, then I could apply the tag hot lead. Like so. So that's something that you could absolutely do, Andrew. So list of checkboxes, select the one most relevant, and if they select that one, then it applies the tag that's associated with it. So hopefully that answers your question as well. You can do the same thing, by the way, for drop-downs, mapping tags to drop-down options, as well as radio buttons. tags work for both of those, or all three of those rather. Please don't be shy. If you have a question and you just think it's silly, there's no such thing as silly questions. If you think you have a silly question, guaranteed someone else currently on the stream is also thinking it and also wants to ask it, but just doesn't want to. So take the dive, ask a question, even if it's as low level as how do I get more leads? That's something that we can help you with. Or, how do I increase contact retention or customer retention? That's something we can help with. So those are the kinds of questions that I want you to be asking. And if you have them, now is your opportunity. Okay, so I'm not seeing any questions come in. So what I'm going to do instead is I am going to do some promotion for, actually, before I spoke too soon, Matt Lau has a question, and hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, or Matt. I never know if it's Lau or Lerver, because there's a video game that I play where L-O-W-E is pronounced Lerver, so I don't know which one's correct, so hopefully I'm not botching it. Matt's question is, I am new to Groundhogg and can't wait to get it all implemented. Just wanted to say, hey, I'm sure I'll have more soon. Oh, okay, so there's no question, but welcome to the community, Matt. That's awesome. I do hope that I can provide assistance in any way that I can, and if you do have questions, office hours is the perfect opportunity to get answers. Okay, so in the absence of questions, then I'm going to open up Groundhogg Academy here. And I did about probably a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months now, not really sure. The year just flies by so fast. I did a webinar with BuddyBoss where I showed the BuddyBoss community how to create or how to essentially just put your BuddyBoss community on steroids and kick it up a gear to handle customer abandonment, login abandonment, onboarding, and all of that awesome stuff that Groundhogg can help you with, but put it into a BuddyBoss context. So what we have is we have a course, which is essentially the BuddyBoss webinar that we did cut up and put into segments, link in the chat area. This is going to help you increase member engagement, drive more membership sales, and help you segment and communicate with your members better, as well as there's some onboarding tips and tricks in there as well. So if you're using BuddyBoss as part of your digital community stack, then you need to go watch this, use our BuddyBoss integration, and really just start effectively communicating with your audience that you have. One of the problems with BuddyBoss, and I guess with self-hosted community membership platforms in general, is the fact that they are not disruptive to the contact when they're on their phone or when they're on their computer. And what I mean by that is the Facebook for any sort of community is just Facebook. People spend on average like 3 hours a day on Facebook or something really, really crazy. For me, probably even more, because I'm always in there participating with the group and participating in other groups and doing office hours. So I'm on Facebook a lot. So I do all of my stuff on Facebook, so I have it in one place. So one of the problems is keeping people constantly coming back to your self-hosted digital community, because it's an extra step for them to go to www.myawesomecommunity.com and then go through the community process there versus just opening up the Facebook app and going to all of the various different communities that you belong to. So that is a little bit tricky, and the reason or the process to overcome that is to consistently stay in communication with those members and provide an easy way for them to come back to your digital community. And those are the principles that we're talking about in our Essentials Funnels for BuddyBoss course or webinar. So go ahead, and if you're using BuddyBoss or really any sort of digital community platform, Lifter LMS, LearnDash, if you have a membership website, the principles we talk about in BuddyBoss are just as applicable in those situations. Okay. If you have questions, we are in open Q&A period. So I saw a couple new people come on the call. So if you have questions, now is your opportunity to ask them. We have a live chat going on. All you got to do is you just have to type out your question. I get to repeat it, and then we're going to answer it here in real time on the call. Alrighty, so I'm not seeing new questions come in, so I guess what we'll do then is we'll start wrapping this session of office hours up. So if you need additional resources and you need more help and you didn't get all of the questions that you wanted answered on this office hours, there is recourse. You can go to academy.groundhog.io. We have 5 free courses there now in order to help you create epic automation and implement awesome strategies that will create epic results for your business there for free. If you need implementation help because you're the kind of business owner that likes to sit back, relax while someone else does the hard work, we have something for that too. We have our certified partner network, and you can actually find a partner yourself or go through our RFP process and go through our certified partner directory. If you know a colleague or know a business or you have another business and you want to earn a commission and get a kickback for recommending Groundhog to somebody else, we have a process for that as well. You can go to affiliate area /registration. We give 10% recurring commissions on all sales for all of our plans and all of our extensions, which I think is quite generous. So you can go to affiliate area /registration in order to register and become an affiliate. If you're not following us, please start. We are on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all of the big ones. So go ahead and find us on social, follow us. We're constantly communicating with people. We're participating in Twitter and YouTube and Facebook and all of that. So make sure that you are part of our community. We are currently at 66 reviews for a total equivalent of 5 stars. We'd be super honored if you'd help us get to 70. It only takes a few minutes. So at the end of this call, go to our WordPress.org repository page, log in and give us a 5-star review. 5-star reviews means more customers, which means more money, which means more developers, which means more features that you want and love faster. The link to do that is wordpress.org/plugins/groundhog. If you have more questions and you're watching the replay of this and you're like, crap, I missed it, I didn't get to ask my question, don't worry. You can continue to comment. We'll be continuing to monitor the comments for this post. You can post a new question in the Facebook group. That's exactly what the Facebook group is for. You can message us on live chat. You can add us on Twitter. You can email us via support. Lots of ways for you to ask questions and then get those questions answered in a timely manner. All right, I want to thank everyone for taking 44 minutes out of their day to spend with me today. I know we're all busy, we're all business owners, and there's other things that we could be doing. So I appreciate you taking the time to learn with me and to learn more about what Groundhog's plans are for 2021. And most importantly, I hope that on this session you've learned something, because that's what's most important to me. Next week, office hours will be an AM office hours, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope to see everyone on the call then.